Hello, everybody. So, normally in this channel, we are looking for puzzles where there's white to move and win or to checkmate in X amount of moves. But today, we are happy just saving a draw for white. So, it's white to move here. And considering the pieces on the board, we should be very happy to get away with the draw here. It will almost count as a victory. So, white to move and get a draw. And now you can pause the video, analyze this on your own time, and see if you can find out how we can achieve that. Go ahead. And welcome back. Okay, as we see, our king cannot move. The pawn cannot move. This pawn is guarding here, of course. The black pawn is going down, but we already saw that in the thumbnail. So the only thing that can move is the rook. So the obvious first move to try is to just exchange the pieces here and see if we can get a draw out of this with a pawn under. The problem is we cannot go towards this pawn if we're not going to b7. But if we do that, the pawn will run to a5 and we will not be able to catch it. As you see, black will promote in the end to get a queen, and we will be checkmated in just a few moves. So this is not working. The only other move we can do in this position is king to d5. Now let's see what happens. If black plays a5, we will manage to get a draw out of this. We can attack this pawn like this. If black stops that, well, his king is too far away, and now we do have time to attack the pawn like this instead, and we will get it, and we will be able to save a draw. But problem is, after here we go, after we play king d5, black will not move this pawn. Instead, he will play king to d7. And now, if we try to run here, well, the thing is we cannot really attack the pawn. The king can come to c6, and now we are in Zugzwang. We have to move somewhere, and the king will take the other way for black. An exchange in pawns will not lead to a victory. He will just run the pawn here. It will not lead to a draw either, I should say. After king d7, if we try to push our pawn ourselves, black will go to e7 with the king. And now, if we try to get the opposition like this to block him, now it's time for him to start running the pawn. Something like this. And we will catch it, but black will not bother about this pawn anymore. Instead, he will get our pawn like this and play the king to d5 or c5. Now he has opposition. He's 2 steps away ahead of his pawn, and he will be able to manage the pawn all the way down. This is basic endgame pawn strategy. I'm not going to show you the full variations here, but black will be able to win this. The pawn is good enough to promote. The king is in good position to protect his own pawn, and we will not be able to get a draw out of this. So what are we missing? Something here? Nah, not really. Could we play king c5 instead of king e5? Thing is, the black will follow up with his king. He's forcing us, and as these 2 squares are still taken, we have to go around. And again, the exchange of pawns will lead to a victory for black. He can come to d5 or even c5, doesn't really matter. I would probably prefer play c5. And we try something like this. And we go back, and, well, the pawn will now become a queen. So we are missing something. So let's back up from the very beginning, because now I will give you the correct starting move. It's not to grab this queen. It looks like there's an only move to do that, but there is a much better move, and that is rook to g8. This is amazing. Fantastic rook sacrifice. Now you see, obviously, that if black takes here, He guards this diagonal, and all of a sudden this is a stalemate. We cannot move anything because black king and pawns are guarding these squares like this, and the queen does the rest. So after we play the beautiful rook g8, now we put black in the zugzwang. If he moves the queen without taking, well, he's going to lose his queen and it's going to be checkmate, so he cannot do that. He cannot move the king because we will get his queen, and now we are winning. So he might try something like this, a5, but now he loses control over b5, so now there's an easy victory, not victory, sorry, an easy draw for us to exchange, and then just play king b5. We'll grab this pawn, and we're done with a pawn each, which is an easy draw. So from the beginning, we just have to find this fantastic rook g8 to be able to save a draw here. Everything else leads to a defeat, and we are not happy. So that's this video. Did you manage to find this beautiful rook move from the beginning? Let me know in the comment section. And of course, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And if you're not a subscriber already, please go ahead and be one. See you tomorrow. I'll bring you something else then. Bye bye.